Hello, everybody. Welcome. Monica, Empower Your Health, Empower Your Life TV. At Empower TV, we connect you with health and wellness resources so that you can empower yourself and create the life you want and the life you love. Let's go. So I am very honored that you're here, and I'm very excited too, because we have a very special episode. This is the first time that I actually went on location. I shot this interview on location at Synergy Wellness in Tucson, Arizona. And Dr. Tim Harrigan, a natural health doctor, invited us to show us his incredible health office, and that he has been running for I would say probably over a decade in Tucson, Arizona. Dr. Tim Harrigan is really a unique, outstanding person, and he's a unique and outstanding health practitioner and natural doctor. And I was just so excited to go and listen to his story, to see his incredible office. And so this is why I wanted to share that with you and just have you partake in this little trip that we made. And so I'm very grateful to Dr. Tim as well for, sharing his time out of his busy schedule and inviting us and giving us a tour of his office. So one thing I want to say, if you're just listening on a podcast platform, I would encourage you to actually go on YouTube at Empower Your Health, Empower Your Life TV and watch this episode, because you will see Dr. Harrigan's beautiful office, beautifully decorated office full of, high-tech medical equipment that he uses for his patients. And not only that, though, because really what I wanted you to see is Dr. Harrigan's passion, his dedication, and it really comes through his whole person. And so get on YouTube if you're not watching yet and watch this episode. I've learned a tons, and I'm just very grateful for this opportunity. So without much further ado, I'll meet you on the other side. See you there. Can come inside and he's gonna show us his office. So wow, let's see what's gonna happen. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Dr. Harrigan. Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Good. Well, thank you for having us today. I am really excited. All right. So this is Dr. Tim Harrigan.
Hi. Good to meet you.
All right. And we're in his office in Tucson, Arizona, Synergy Wellness, natural health practice. And Dr. Tim Harrigan was so generous. He actually agreed to show us his office and talk about his amazing work. So welcome everybody, and thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to explain what we do, because it's very unique. And that's good and bad in some people's minds, right? Because we're so used to maybe our habits and our current healthcare system and our basically what our family members and what our friends do in regards to their health. So our office, our clinic, our practice, whatever you want to call it, we've created based on how I take care of myself and my family. So it's kind of exciting. We've done this for nearly 15 years, and I've become obsessed, Monica, with really getting to the cause of people's health issues. So this is literally everything we're about to show you is my own healthcare system. It's what I use for myself, my family. A few things, we're not making any medical claims whatsoever, but I haven't been to a medical doctor in 20 years. I haven't had a prescription in that long as well. My kids have not had any medications in their bodies yet to this day. And I have 4 children, actually, 10 and under, that from a gal that was told she would never have children due to her PCOS and endometriosis and some other female issues, right? So we are obsessed with helping people. Maybe the best thing to say is not rely on drugs and surgery, right? So we all know those are very invasive. Something that we talk about with our patients literally daily, every hour. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States. that's going to affect most of us, whether it's us or our spouse. They say more than half of us now will die of heart disease, heart attacks, okay? So heart disease is the number one killer. Cancer is number two. Medical intervention, and I can send you the references for this, is actually the third leading cause of death, unfortunately. And medications is the fourth. So literally, that's why we've created this practice. I don't necessarily want to rely on a crisis system. Our medical system is amazing to save our life, right? If I break my femur or I have a heart attack, trust me, I'm going to the emergency room and they're going to help me out. Doctors have amazing skills at saving lives, right? So we want people to come to us before that happens. We want to work on, diet, exercise, fix some deficiencies in your body, fix your toxicities, find the imbalances, whether it's hormonal or otherwise, and just support those systems with, maybe physical therapy type things, chiropractic type things, clinical nutrition. We do blood work, all kinds of stuff. So we've gotten really good, Monica, over the past 15 years with over 10,000 people. And again, we just live and breathe this. We're obsessed with, finding the best technologies, finding the best nutritional products in whatever category we're dealing with, only sending people to the best labs for certain types of tests. So everything we do, since this is my own healthcare model that I take care of myself, I want to source the best stuff in the world in whatever category we're dealing with. So think of us maybe as the optimization of health office, and it's all data driven, it's all evidence based. Theories and philosophies are great, but I want to be able to measure stuff. I want that really static, the analytical information, so that we can track progress over time. So maybe we can just get into our little office tour and kind of show you what I've become, again, obsessed with. And just, we've learned so much by going to different medical conferences and nutrition seminars, Tony Robbins events, right? Teaching us all kinds of different things from all different parts of the world. So it's been a lot of fun. And so all we do now is really share with people what we've learned over the past, I've been in healthcare, if you combine, my personal training and kind of pre-med type stuff that I was into for a while, for almost 20 years. That's been my obsession with my own health for 20 years. And so let's look around. So
wonderful.
When somebody comes into our office, first of all, we're very thorough. We don't just rush into treatments and doing stuff, throwing things at people as far as a treatment. We want to learn about you. I want to create what we call a discovery process, where we go through some tests, maybe some blood work, maybe some x-rays. I don't know. Just everybody's individualized. Just think of it this way. If you give me 100 different patients with headaches, for example, how do we treat those people, right? Usually there's around 3 to 6 medications in the world that treat a headache, right? But we all know we're not aspirin deficient. We all know we don't have an ibuprofen deficiency, right? Those things are topical symptom relievers, but they're not addressing the cause of the problem. So I've literally had a patient in the past that had a brain tumor causing their headache. So we went through all the right tests. We kept going through this pecking order of figuring out what's going on with that person through their discovery process, and we found out they had literally a tumor in their brain. That not everybody gets headaches because of that, obviously. Other people get headaches because of simple dehydration, tight muscles in my neck, hormone imbalances. I might have food sensitivities to different things I'm eating. There's so many reasons, right? There's hundreds of reasons why potentially I can get a headache in my body. So you can't really treat a headache, right? I want to treat the person. I want to find out where their homeostasis is lacking, what's not, again, it's really three basic things. Deficiencies, we all have them in certain vitamins, minerals, enzymes, toxicities, which is too much of something, or an imbalance. So we want to find that out. So when somebody comes in, we do fairly extensive paperwork. Then we go through some sort of evaluation that's usually customized for that person. And let's just kind of look around. So
fantastic.
We don't rush into treatments. We want to, again, learn about your body, your physiology. Of course, we want to, help you with your goals, but how we help different people is very different. Again, if you take those 100 headache people, and we're gonna really treat them all differently because they all need different things, but the outcome usually is less headaches or no headaches eventually, or less severe, or whatever it is. So we really have 2 treatment rooms where I spend a lot of time. This is where we do, structural work, neurological work. We do traction, stretching, myofascial release, trigger point therapy. There's really not a joint, muscle, nerve, tendon, ligament in the body that we can't influence with our technique. So part of our health has to do absolutely with structure and neurological type issues, right? So if we don't fix those imbalances, just like if I don't fix my, maybe my misaligned car tires, they're going to wear unevenly over time. Well, our bodies are no different. So that is a big thing, because every other system, whether you call it your immune system, your cardiovascular system. They follow the lead of your nervous system and structure. Your nervous system, we all know our brain and spinal cord control everything. If my brain loses function, nothing else works. If I sever my neck up here, remember old Christopher Reeves, the old Superman, fell off his horse just 6 feet high, landed the wrong way, severed his spinal cord in his neck, which is no bigger than the end of your pinky. He lost all function below there, right? So we can't really deny at this point that your nervous system and structure, they really control everything. Every other system basically follows their lead. So we have to start there. Then we get into other things. So if we go into our exam room here, this is one of our exam rooms where we do very specialized tests on, the nervous system through EMGs, thermal scans, range of motion tests. We do stress testing through heart rate variability. We have the most, it's considered the gold standard for body composition. It's a device they use for research on animals and humans and government research and university studies. So our basic exam is usually more thorough, the most thorough exam somebody's ever had, actually. We call it our basic starting point because there's so many different things we can get into after that point. So once we see somebody's history and their paperwork, then we run some, physiological tests to get a big idea of what the body's doing. It's neat because then we can get a little more focused on certain systems or get more specific on the tests that we do. So if we come into this room.
So I wanted to ask you about the giraffe.
The giraffe, yeah. The decor, we kind of put together over time. I love Pier 1 Imports and World Market, so I love kind of the safari theme.
I love this spot, it's got this long neck, right?
Yeah, and we always get compliments on it. It's kind of funny, we didn't hire an interior designer or anything, but
I had to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see elephants and all kinds of stuff.
Good.
So this room, we do some cardiovascular tests, tests that tell us about circulation, again, stress in the body. So we do a couple different types of stress testing because, guys, everything is caused by stress. Whether you call it mental stress, chemical stress, physical stress, that's what causes everything in our body. And there's obviously good stress, but we want to make sure our body can handle the excess amounts of maybe negative stress that our body deals with. And that's just getting somebody healthier over time. So it's kind of cool to see that effect.
Great. So your beautiful family's here.
Oh yeah, my team. Honestly, this place wouldn't run without my team. I'm honestly a very small part of the success here. Obviously, I'm the practitioner and the decision maker and the recommendation giver. But without a team, good team, none of this would be possible.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. All right.
We spend a lot of time doing treatments. This is where I spend a lot of time. Spend a lot of time doing exams and running tests. Lasers are a big part of what we do because, guys, I don't know if you've heard of ultrasound, electrical stim, we all know kinesiotape and cupping, all these things. They're all great things. But these lasers literally have over 8,700 studies showing benefit, no side effect. And I believe we're still the only ones in Arizona that have these two particular lasers. They're the most advanced lasers in the world for low-level laser therapy. And they're really miraculous. We've prevented, I don't know how many knee surgeries, low back surgeries. These have FDA clearances to treat chronic low back pain. I believe it's the only non-invasive device in the world that has that clearance. Plantar fasciitis clearance, and now they have a whole body clearance, literally to treat anything in the body. So everybody's always skeptical of these, and we were too for a long time. But we've lasered literally hundreds, if not thousands, of people at this point. And it's pretty cool. Somebody comes in with shoulder issues, and we do all the manual therapies we need to fix the shoulder. But when we add this, it literally stimulates in the cells energy, which is ATP in our cells, to actually heal, to break up scar tissue, to improve circulation, to reduce inflammation. They're literally healing devices, not just help you feel better temporarily devices. So these things, we're running people through these all day long, and we get testimonials literally daily from them now. Some of the other stuff that we do, Monica, we do so much with clinical nutrition. This is one of my obsessions too, clinical nutrition, because I don't think people realize how powerful our diet and how powerful supplements can be if they're sourced properly. Guys, but 95% of what's out there in the supplement industry, I would not feed my dog. And I have some friends that formulate for, a lot of different countries around the world. We've learned a lot over the past 2 decades with supplements, with sourcing, with growing, with farming, with, the whole process to get something that's live and growing that's good for me to a pill or a liquid or something else that still has the therapeutic effect when I take that as it did when it was in the ground or growing, or the natural raw power that we know of, right? So we literally use hundreds of different formulas customized to everybody. We do detox programs, we do liver support, kind of liver congestion, detoxification programs, weight loss type things. But, weight loss isn't simple either. We have to address the cause if we want to lose weight, which is usually toxins, which is usually hormone imbalances, which is usually maybe lack of sleep or stress. There's so many variables that, again, even with that, we want to address the cause of the problem. So if we come into this is just our kitchen area, but this is my office. We can walk through here. If we come over to our quiet side of the building, this is kind of one of my fun areas to hang out in. This is kind of my treatment area too. So I laser myself daily, whether it's my brain or another issue maybe I'm having with my shoulder or low back. This is a biocharger. So this is a really cool device. A lot of people are skeptical of this too. Tony Robbins has one of these in actually all of his houses. This is a Tesla coil actually. So this is pretty phenomenal. So the best way to explain what this does is most people know at this point in this day and age, Wi-Fi is bad for us. 5G is not great for us. EMFs, all these kind of radiation, electromagnetic frequencies around us, they're not good for our cells. And so, Monica, one of my obsessions too is when people understand statistics, that helps us make decisions with our own healthcare. So I mentioned the top 4 leading causes of death. Well, our kids right now, my kids, young kids, they say will not outlive us as their parents. So our lifespan for the first time in history is actually going down. It's not getting better anymore. It's literally not plateaued either. It's getting worse. So I want people to understand that concept, because what we're currently doing as a whole in the United States specifically, the way we eat, the way our family members eat, the way our friends eat, the way our family members exercise or don't exercise, if we do what everybody else does around us, we're probably going to end up in those top 4 statistics, first of all, but also our lifespan is getting worse. So we have to be weird almost, right? That's something we talk about in different lectures I give. You have to be weird to be healthy, right? To beat those statistics, you have to do different things. You have to eat different. You have to move different. You have to have a different mindset. And so this is a cool device because we all know the negative effects of these invisible things now, radiation and EMFs. This is kind of an invisible thing that's good for you, though. So this is a Tesla coil. It's called a biocharger. It's I can actually start it. I think that'll give people a better idea. It's pretty wild. And just stay back a little bit. We can shock each other if we're too close. You guys, but this device creates an electromagnetic field, a healthy one. As we know, the negative fields are bad for our cells. This is the opposite. So you can come over and meditate around this, or I might take notes or set goals around here. But this energy, you guys, is feeding into your body. You can go to biocharger.com, I believe, to learn more about this. But it's such a cool thing to have these non-invasive technologies to improve my health. It's almost biohacking, right? We all know about the biohacking principles, eating a certain way. People do paleo and keto lifestyle. So the more things we do, the better our body's going to function. So most people don't realize that your body is so complex. Every second, there's a certain number of chemical reactions in our body. Every second, your body has 30,000 billion chemical reactions in 1 second that occurs. 30,000 billion. That number our brains can't even understand what that number is. And that's in 1 second. This happens every second of every day of our life until we drop dead, right? So we can't simplify things. I can't just go to one of these supplement stores and just take vitamin D and calcium and be healthy, right? There's 30,000 billion chemical reactions. And when you understand my human body every day ideally needs tens of thousands of different nutrients. When you include vitamins, minerals, enzymes, probiotics, all these things we know that are good for us, and most people are taking 20 things out of those 10,000 that we actually need. So we look at things very differently, and again, it's all evidence-based. This is just one of the little biohacking tools that we use with our detox systems, with our liver cleansing systems, with our chiropractic type techniques that we do, and it's a lot of fun just really guiding people and teaching them some things that we've learned and how I literally take care of myself. So I haven't been to a medical doctor in 20 years. That doesn't mean I haven't had any issues in 20 years. That doesn't mean that at all. I've had pneumonia. I'm not saying, don't go to the hospital or something if you have pneumonia. I did it to prove a point. I literally didn't take any antibiotics. and I get rid of my pneumonia through herbs and other remedies, which is hard to tell people because most of the time they don't believe you, first of all. But I also don't recommend that for people, right? It's kind of dangerous to do that, but I had to prove a point. Your body is capable of far more than what we give it credit for, okay? I've had broken bones in that period of time, but whatever we're dealing with, we use lasers, we use the manual therapies, we fix it with clinical nutrition. It's just a lot of fun, Monica, to be able to share this stuff with other people and just share what we've learned and how we take care of our own bodies. So we do massages here. We have another kind of laser overflow room over here. And really, we do almost anything. We do neurofeedback. We can do blood work. We can do heavy metal tests. And everything we do is supportive. We want to address the cause of the problem.
So a patient who comes in, does they go through all those technologies and treatments, or do you make a very specific plan?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously we're not going to throw all of that at every person that goes through the door. So we keep it very simple, actually. It's cool because our toolbox, so to speak, there's not just a hammer in there, right? So if I just have a hammer in my toolbox, or if I'm just a doctor that prescribes, well, you go into their office, their tool is prescribing you a drug, right? If I know I don't want that drug, well, that's the tool they have, though, unfortunately. So if I have a toolbox that has a hammer, a screwdriver, a drill, a saw, right? The more tools in our toolbox, the more things we can affect in the body. So imagine it this way. The whole point of our office name is Synergy Wellness. Synergy, what that means is 1 + 1 is not 2. 1 + 1 should be 10. That's synergy. When two things come together, let me just break it down this way. H2O, right? Hydrogen and oxygen actually separated. These are the two most flammable substances known to man, hydrogen and oxygen. Together, H2O, it's water. It puts out fires, right? So that's synergy. When you have things working together, you want 1 + 1 + 1 not to be 3, but 25, right? So when we do more things, if I just teach you how to exercise better, of course you're going to get a certain benefit out of that. But then if I just decide to do that for a while, but then I'm going to, now teach you about nutrition, okay? And we just do that. You stop exercising, let's just do nutrition now. You're going to get a certain benefit from that probably, but now we neglected something. So when we do all the things we know that you need help with, fix your toxicities, fix your deficiencies, find the imbalances and start working on those, that's a synergistic effect. So people try to isolate this stuff, and sometimes you can't isolate it. Sometimes if I just do one thing, I'm not going to get the result I want. But we do all the things I think I need together, it's a much different effect in the body. And that's really what we're doing is, customizing all our different programs or tests based on your goals, based on finances too, right? I can't just, throw $5,000 worth of tests at every person, even though they benefit from that. It's just not realistic. So we get really kind of focused on, obviously somebody's goals, but usually their goals change, ironically, because we find other things through our tests. It's like, well, shoot, I didn't know I had vitamin D deficiency. Well, let's work on that. And that might be really far reaching as well, right? And maybe they've had that for 20 years and maybe their immune system just isn't working good and they get sick 10 times a year. So we want to find all the little things that we can naturally fix. As I peel the layers of the onion with somebody's health, we start to see the more core issues, right? Because somebody might come in and we have you fill out this questionnaire that's over 200 questions. You might mark 50 things on there, right? But you might have 1 or 2 main goals. Maybe I have low back pain and maybe I get headaches or something like that. Well, as we go through this process with people, I don't want to just treat those 2 things. First of all, I want to look at your body. I want to get your physical health and your mental health and your chemical health all synced together. And usually 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, maybe they only have 20 things they're answering on that questionnaire instead of 50. So the goal is to peel these layers of onion because it allows us to see some of the more core issues so we can really directly fix those because there's compensation that happens in the body too. So maybe even the symptoms you're dealing with today, maybe that's not even, the main symptom. Maybe that's a compensation of something else, right? Maybe my right hip hurts because my left hip is stuck a little bit or misaligned. So I'm compensating, walking differently, but I don't feel this problem. I feel it over here now. Well, do I fix this side or do I fix the problem, right? So that's what we do is we want to find the cause of the problem and just, really level up the human body. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you look at the iceberg, not the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly,
right?
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
And that's symptoms, right? People don't realize that less than 10% of your nervous system is sensory related, which means you can feel it. So what about the other 90 to 99%? Well, we have to do tests to do that. And so most people, 2 examples really, somebody has a heart attack, right? We all know people that, in their 50s and 60s have had a heart attack. They felt fine usually the day before, the week before, the month before. But we know it took 10, 20, maybe 30 years of clogging of arteries and poor health to finally get to the first symptom of heart disease, which is usually the heart attack itself. I don't want to wait for that symptom and my heart attack, which 50% of the people die from the first time anyway, to start working on my circulation. That makes zero sense at all. When I knew it took 20 years to get to that point, let's find those problems now. Let's level up your health, because we can find that stuff if you do the proper tests. Or a low back issue, right? Somebody goes to pick up a pencil off the ground and they throw out their back. Well, obviously, unless that pencil weighed 1,000 pounds, that should not happen. So what happened was there's been some silent changes in the body, maybe the discs, maybe the nerves, there's a lot of variables. That was the last straw, right? I shouldn't hurt myself bending over to pick up something. So we know it probably took 5, 10, 20 years to get to that point also. Well, what if we could identify those issues as they're slowly building up and fix them before they go anywhere? So that's what we do.
Fantastic. Wow. So I'm just so enjoying looking at all the stuff that you have, by the way.
Thank you.
And appreciate being able to, experience a little bit of the Tesla tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I call it. I already feel better.
Yeah.
But wanted to ask you, tell me, if somebody's listening to that and they're wondering, well, is he going to help me? I mean, who would you like to see in your office?
That's a good question. To be honest, our ideal client, patient, whatever you want to call it, is literally anybody that just is. I'm skeptical. I'm probably the most skeptical person you ever meet, but most people come into our office very skeptical. They don't know us. They don't trust us. They don't know us from, anybody else down the road. And they come in very skeptical because a lot of this stuff, we're not maybe considered, what people say a real doctor because we don't prescribe. Well, trust me, I'm a real doctor. We couldn't be called a doctor. We just don't prescribe. That's the whole point, though, of what we do. If we need that, we can go get help with that, right? There's time and place for medications, absolutely. But our ideal client is honestly anyone that just wants to get healthier. I don't care if you're super sick or if you're an elite athlete. We've had those as well, where they just want to get 5% better on whatever it is on their sport, because that might make them an Olympian at that point. 5% can be a big deal for that person. Some people come in with minor issues, headaches. They just want to go through our advanced exam, our initial basic starting point, because it tells so much about the body. It's much more information than somebody's yearly physical, for example. Literally anybody with a brain and beating heart. Because the whole point is we want to see you before you have crazy, serious issues happening. That's why a lot of you listening are exercising. That's why a lot of you are considering improving your diet. That's why a lot of us know we need to set goals and deal with stress better. That's why we all know we need to sleep a little bit more if we're not getting enough sleep. That's what we do, but on a whole different level. That's more of a medical model. That's more evidence-based. First of all, thanks for being curious about our office. We don't really advertise a whole lot. We're actually so busy now that we really are just taking on our current patients, friends, and family and stuff. So it's a very unique thing that we've created here. We just absolutely love it, and we're just trying to get better and better all the time. So thank you for your curiosity, first of all. It takes a team like you and I and other practitioners and different people on your healthcare team, so to speak, personal trainers, whatever you need, to really kind of make this work well, right? One of us can't do this on our own because the world is sick and tired. Again, our lifespan is getting worse for the first time in history. So I appreciate what you're doing with your videos and getting more information out to people. But I just wanted to finish with this too. This is I'm not going to say the name of the company. I think most people might recognize it. This is a hamburger, if you look right here, that I purchased in 2008. Okay. This is crazy. Some people eat this daily, if not weekly. Some people eat this several times a day. This is not food. This is part of what we do in our office and part of why the top 4 leading causes of death, heart disease, cancer, medical intervention, and medications are such a problem. This is what we're doing. This is our culture. We have to be weird. We have to change our mindset. We have to change our culture, so to speak. Now, I want you to see this. So this is literally 13 years old, you guys. The only reason it looks like this is people like to tap on it to make sure it's real. But you guys just understand. Do you see any mold on here? Do you see anything growing? This is such a dead processed food. It does not even really biodegrade. Mold won't grow on this. This is not real food. Now imagine the other side of that. If I put a banana on the desk here and we leave that banana there, right? There's a life force. It sounds corny to some people. There's a life force in that banana. It grew, Mother Nature, did all this stuff. It has just an apple has over 300 phytonutrients that are good for me. So whole foods are really where we want to spend our time. So this is such a dead processed food. Why is it really a question of why we're so sick? So I show people that because I want you to realize our diets need help. Our healthcare system is really a crisis system. So, we want to find people like Monica and myself and other people that I work with to really help you level up your health, because this is our culture and it just isn't working very well. So we have to make some weird changes to our lifestyle to really be different. So thank you for having me. Thanks for the tour. It's been fun. Let me know if I can answer any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It was very enjoyable, and I think we've learned a lot. So
That's
I really
awesome.
appreciate it.